You spend a lot of time inside of your car and it should feel comfortable and clean. I'm going to show you my process that you can use at home to keep your car clean on the inside, the products you can use, and we'll go from dirty to fresh. And the first thing I need to grab is a garbage bag. So the first thing I do is I go through the entire car inside and out and get all the trash out from the back seats, under the seats, and don't forget to save any of that extra change you find for more car parts. Once I've got all the trash taken out of the car, the next thing we got to do is grab the mat and just get all that dirt that's built up over, the last year, and then I'll double back for one last pass. Once all the trash is taken out, I pull out the wet vac. So I used a wet vac to vacuum basically everything and every part of the car, from all the small details down to the floor mat. I have a variety of tips, and I bought a special kit that's specifically for detailing cars. It includes a lot of different attachments, like this flat tip for the floors, a pointed tip with bristles, and probably my favorite attachment, just a plain pointed with no bristles that really lets you get into the cracks in small areas. Typically when I'm detailing, I only do the front first and then I move on to the back, but for the sake of the video, I'm showing all of the vacuuming. Once everything has been vacuumed and all the dirt is gone, it's time to move on to brushing things up. To clean all the interior plastics, I use Ammo Lather Interior Cleanser. I start in the middle and use a brush to get all the small details, especially the electronics, and then I wipe it all down. Moving on to the top of the dash, I'll spray it on and wipe it right off. Every time I move on to a new section, I do use a different towel. I continue using the brush all the way around, working my way outwards. When I get to the vents, I have a tool specifically designed to clean those off. Similar to the first video in this series, which was detailing the engine, I do have a separate set of brushes for the interior, so that way I don't mix them up. Once I'm finished detailing the front, it's time to move on to the carpets. For the carpets, I use another product called Shag Fabric, also from Ammo, and you'll spray it on and let it sit for about 30 seconds. And then bring out your wet vac again and vacuum it all up. If your floors are really dirty, I would repeat this process twice, but mine aren't that bad, so I'm only going to do it once. And once you've sucked up everything with a wet vac, I go back one last time with a towel to make sure no cleaner was left behind. I get back out the Lather Interior Cleanser to get the trim piece on the bottom of the door, and then I move on to the doors. And I use the same process that I was cleaning on the interior. I'll spray it all on, and I'll use a brush to get it all agitated throughout, and I'll use the wet vac to get any of the small details like the speakers. Be sure to be extra careful working around the door electronics and don't oversaturate it. This is where the wet vac becomes super useful, and I'll use that pointed tip to vacuum out all the cleaner to make sure nothing was left behind. My doors do have this fabric, so I'll spray on the Shag Fabric Cleaner, and I'll use the brush to agitate it a little bit, and then I'll vacuum it all out. And now that we're done with the front, I'll move on to the back, but I'll do one last pass with the vacuum just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and of course, I always do. For the back, I'll do the same process, so I'll use the Shag Fabric Cleaner. I'll start on the carpets on the bottom, and then I'll move upwards, getting those seats extra clean. Because you're always moving from one cleaner to the next, especially with the interior between the carpets and the plastics, I have a little detailing cart that I'll roll around and keep everything on there, and that keeps everything within close reach. Now it's time for the final step, and that brings us to another Ammo product, Ammo Mousse. I apply this product to all the leather areas of the car. It protects, hydrates, softens all those leather surfaces, and protects from UV rays from the sun. Once you've applied it to the leather surface, you let it sit for about 2 minutes, and then you'll buff it off with a towel, and it'll leave a great matte finish. We have got the entire interior of the car fully detailed, and it is looking really good, but there's one last piece that we got to add, and then it'll complete the full look, and that would be, of course, the floor mats. If you have a power washer, you can use that, but I didn't want to whip this out just for the floor mat, so a hose will be just fine. I use a cleaner specifically for mats, and it's by Adams Polishes, and of course it's called Rubber Mat and Liner Cleaner. To really get these clean, I use a drill with a brush attachment, and it's super satisfying to just watch this dirt build up and then wash away. To speed up the process, I have a handheld dryer that I use specifically for detailing, and it just blows the water right off, and at the same time it does blow hot air, so it dries it too. Now that I've got the mats dried off and they're looking pretty clean, I do apply Chemical Kai's VRP to them. It does give a little bit of a greasy residue finish, and it makes them a little slippery, but I love how black and brand new they look, and I'll buff off as much as I can to remove that, but keep that in mind if you use VRP on your mats. And that is how you detail the interior of your car. Here's how it looks. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about any part of the process, be sure to throw them down in the comment section below. And so you don't miss part 3 of this detailing series, which will be the full exterior clean, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications.